Okay. We are live. Welcome everybody to the node.js security working group meeting. I will share in the chat the minutes, so please include your name. Let me send in the chat somewhere here. Many tabs open. Okay, just sent in the chat. Please include your name and your GitHub handle. And well, before we start, does anybody have an announcement? Okay, I move forward. So as usual, we go to the vulnerability review. I think we got some updates from OpenSSL since the last meeting, right, Michael?
Yeah, basically the tooling has reported all of the ones that we discussed previously. The ones that OpenSSL has basically disclosed, but said they're low and we're not planning a release. So those are really, I think, just waiting on the next OpenSSL releases, in which case we can incorporate them.
Yeah. Okay.
So we got lots because there were like 3 and it's times each of the releases or whatever, but
yes, there's just one thing I'm a bit afraid is about the Node.js 14.
yeah.
I saw that you commented that Node.js will probably fix it once it's released, but since it's a low severity and we are almost end of life, I don't think that we'll do a 14 release, right?
Yeah, I just did the same generic, like there aren't, I meant to say there aren't any releases. We'll pick up those releases once they happen. I think like once the release is end of life, my assumption is like, yeah, we don't do updates. So
okay.
So if you wanted to comment to say, well, like there most likely won't be a 14.x release. So I guess if they did a release today, maybe we think about doing a release like a final.
Okay, yeah.
Once it's end of life, no, I'm agreed. It's end of life. So
yeah. All right. So okay, I think all the issues were addressed by Michael. Just one missing a comment. I will just copy paste.
Great. Yeah, and looking at the rest of the stuff that's there, there's still a bunch that are marked for 14.x.
But I think is all of them is the low severity. Is in the same patch, right?
Well, I'm thinking like the non-OpenSSL ones. Like there's a bunch of ones so there's all the OpenSSL ones, and then there's still some that are tagged against mostly 14. Most of them, like we've got them all tagged as like we don't think we don't believe they affect Node.js.
Yes.
So even things like zlib though on 16.x up. I guess we just haven't done an update to 16 for zlib.
I think we did. If I remember, yes, I think we did, if I remember correctly.
So that one I'm wondering, like, I guess the tool doesn't close these automatically.
No, the tool doesn't close it automatically. We normally do it manually.
Yeah, I tried closing this 2 weeks ago. Oh, I reopened it though, so
it was misclicked.
Maybe we should just check if there wasn't a release.
Yes, I am not sure about the 16 because since it's in maintenance mode, I don't think that we did it.
Okay, so that one, I guess where I was going in the discussion, just like all the 14 ones will disappear once 14 becomes end of life, and then the only other thing that would be there is the zlib one on 16, which due to the comments on like that it didn't even affect it, may just stay there for a while.
All right.
Yeah, on this point, maybe if we don't want to manually patch it, we can wait until we backport the dependency update automation to 16 and 18, so it will update automatically in the future.
In the case of 16, I think it won't be necessary because it will be in maintenance actually it's already in maintenance mode, right?
Okay.
Yes, I mean, we will do it once we have security vulnerability, right? Or a hot fix to do. But yeah, that's good.
Or even like that one, I guess it's like, you know, I think the comment was we didn't use it. So maybe when we have some other, just in terms of the automatic updates, I mean, I think the flow in my mind is like the automatic updates just work on main, and then those PRs are backported to the other streams, right?
Yes, but there is a problem for I mean, it doesn't work for 16 or 14 because most of the cases these dependencies got similar major updates. For instance, OpenSSL
Right,
1
okay.
to 3, so
Right.
it doesn't work.
Okay. So that in that case, it would be useful to turn them on. Yeah, okay. So okay. So for the ones where there's a Semver major change, then we can turn them on to like the newest one with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that'd be
we
good.
can talk about it in the
Yeah.
the next.
Yep.
But okay.
Sounds good.
The next item in our agenda is, as we have discussed it previously, we will do a scorecard review of the repository that we are monitoring. And this normally is the first task in our agenda. And well, Ulysses opened a pull request 3 days ago with the new report. I will send the chat. And basically, he also sent a summary in the working group meeting issue that nothing relevant in the. Okay, you are here. You can say.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that the summary was here, but yeah, I think maybe it's in the issue attached. Yeah, I remember I put it somewhere, but
just drop the link to the markdown in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, great. Oh, there's the difference one. Fine. Yeah, nothing really relevant, right? Like it seems just an organic grow or something, because I don't know how big is like 0.5 of improvement. So I'm assuming it is just normal, right?
I assume it's organic. Yeah, I think it's maybe we can consider that it's more than 1 point. Maybe it's something as a consequence in terms of positive, you know, as a consequence of something that we did probably better than before. And I don't see any negative scoring to the 3 repositories that we monitor. So in that terms, I think we're okay. I see changes, but I think organic for the rest of the repositories that we don't proactively monitor. So
I do wonder why, like there's a bunch like that are like have minuses. And I'm just wondering, like, you know, I know they're not necessarily ones that we're tracking, but like why would a repo go down like by 1.1 points? Do you have any idea for
most of the time, from my experience in my organization, because I follow my score on all repositories, we kind of lose score because we merge something without checking, without reviewing, for example. So the score just dropped like 0.5 or thing like this. Or maybe just because someone merged something without any review, or maybe test didn't go green, so it just subtract the score. Most of the time, this is because of this.
Okay, so it's basically if you merge things, if you merge things without review, then it starts to push the score down. Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and that I could see, you know, okay, that's a good one because that could happen in quite a few, well, some places.
Yeah, also when you recover the score for that one is in 17 changes after. So it's like you have to do 17 commits with review, and then you get back the score. So it's a little bit tricky because when you lose it, then recovering is harder. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. It's almost like it's like we'd like to be able to turn off some checks. Because like even the ones that we don't track, right? There's some things that would be nice to know if, like, I don't know, people that stopped happening, right? Like, I don't know. Because we probably do in some of those, we probably do some things, but not others. And
well, I think that's difficult to do. I mean, I was also wondering that instead of seeing the difference, we can see why this improved or why this decreased only for the ones that increase 1 or 2 points. Can we have that information, or is like we only have the number, but we can see what changed? I don't know. In a text or in an explanation.
Yeah, I can. Maybe something easy that I can try to implement is to store not only the score, also the reasons behind the score. So you have like a full payload. So that way the JSON file will be much bigger for sure. And then we can compare with the new scoring and just put the diffs. I can use a simple diff command just to showcase specifically what has changed, between both. So maybe that will be more helpful, because actually it's super big, the payload, because you have too many things. And yeah, and it's hard to see what was exactly what the difference between the last report. So, but maybe we can work in that direction. Yeah, I think also it's useful. Yeah, more people will like it also.
And I like Raphael's suggestion. Like, if the extra data gets for everything, then it might be big. But like, if there was some way that was like, here are the ones that dropped more than 1, and the reasons, that would be an interesting summary to see. Well, okay, we regularly have ones that drop because, like you said, they're merging without reviews or whatever, right?
Yeah, so it will be something like -1 because of branch protection, for example, right? Rather than exactly what are the new warnings, will be like more like a sections, right?
Yeah, that would be really interesting if we could do that easily. Like, for example, there's one -2.8 on the build repo.
But where are you seeing that? Because I'm looking to the
or maybe that was maybe that was from the last report.
Okay, are you using the one that Thomas sent in the chat? Because here I'm not seeing anything like so big like this. Normally,
I guess I looked in the. Sorry, I was looking at this, and so I was looking at what was just deleted. So the previous report.
Okay.
So yeah, so maybe not in this report, but I'm just looking for what's the biggest. Let's see some of those. Right. So maybe we're hitting steady state, so the negatives are smaller this time.
Yeah. It's way smaller, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the previous one, it's very different because it was a manual report, but it took a lot of time to do, like I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, and then we have that discrepancy. And now Ulysses did it in 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I will, if it's okay, I will change the Chrome job that I have, because right now it's running every Sunday. So what you see in this report is actually the difference between the last Sunday so it's not like a 2 weeks period, like from the meetings, it's more like a 1 week difference. So I will extend it to 2 weeks different, and I will run it on the same day as the meeting. So that way it's more accurate. So we check it out from meeting to meeting. Maybe that makes more sense also.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good point. There really aren't. So in the new one, there really aren't a lot of minuses in there. So maybe it's not. Maybe we won't be seeing a lot of minus after all. So
yeah. All right. So I think Ulysses, instead of 1 week, you could do it in 2 weeks, because otherwise we will miss the previous one, and then the difference will be different.
Yeah. I will put it in notes. Yeah.
Okay. So improve the Node.js scorecard. I think Matteo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly. Matteo. Is Matteo? I think so, right, Marco? Matteo, okay. Did a couple pull requests to the Node.js. Okay, there's one that needs to be pinned. Okay, I will send the chat. Maybe it's because he doesn't. Okay, he pinged the security working group. So, guys, please go to this pull request, review it, eventually approve, so we can merge. I mean, I can merge it now, but it's good to have everybody looking to the same place.
Yep.
Great. So it aims to increase the OpenSSF. Great. So probably you'll see a result from this. So let me just is this one? No, it's not this one. Sorry.
Is there any, I don't want to add work.
Mm-hmm.
My question would be, in this report, would it be easy to have like the ones we're monitoring up at the top or something? I mean, not a big deal one way or the other, but just like if there's the three, you mentioned three which we're monitoring and trying to move up. If those were at the top versus in the middle, it might be nice.
Yeah, that makes sense. There is an issue ongoing for the roadmap for the version 2 of the repo that they will allow some kind of grouping and sorting. So also you can manage by, big difference first or negative first and so on. So maybe we can add something like group this as a primary and then the rest are secondary, for example. So you have your own subgroup or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In actions, that's great. So we need just to go and add more items to this issue because it's far from ideal for now. As far as I know, if I let me just check the current score from Node.js. I go to the tools. It's tools, right? Tools, OSSF scorecard, and report. And I will get the Node.js, which is this one here. So it ran, okay, quite some time ago. Yes, okay. Okay, it's because there is your pull request, by the way, right? We need to merge it.
Yes, we need to merge it.
I have approved. I will send the chat. And I will merge it as okay, I should have squashed it, but anyway. Now we have 7.6 on this score. So I will send it in the Node.js one. Which one is it? Is this one. Update from and then we can make it like do some tracking based on the pull request, so we can see basically which pull request increased or which pull request decreased. Great. So I think you guys have approved this one. Great. I will do a commit QE. Great. Let's move forward. Workflow failing due to, okay. Sorry, folks. I forgot to mention one thing. I have included to the main issue. That is, I would like to talk about the Collab Summit. I have sent a proposal to the Node.js state of Node.js security. I have also applied a talk with Michael, and we were accepted. However, my visa got rejected, so I won't be able to go to Vancouver. And then I need, or I would like to have someone to replace me in that session. Would be who would be there from the meeting?
I don't know if
gonna-
my session would be accepted because there was some
I think it
controversy.
was accepted already. If
Really?
that if there is a summit topic on this, looks like it was accepted, as far as I understand from Claudio.
There's a draft agenda. So I think looking at that, it'd be easy to see if it's on the agenda.
Do you know where is it? Oh, actually,
Maybe-
everything is with summit topic. So
so scroll down. So let's see, is there an issue? Yeah,
maybe
click
here.
on that one.
Schedule. Okay, maybe it's here.
Let's see.
Oh no. Okay, it's here. Is in after the
Yeah,
lunch
so there you
time.
go. So I think you can say that, based on the current schedule, it's there.
Yes.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, I need to check if I can physically be there with near form, if they will
Yeah, that
sponsor
will be
me
difficult.
my
I'd
travel.
say.
Otherwise, I need the funding to travel to Vancouver also. So this is like, don't count on me 100%.
Yeah. Anybody else will be there? I think pretty sure Michael will be there, but
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
okay. Because I mean, I really would like to have this topic talked in the Collab Summit, but I don't know if that will be too much for you, Michael, because I know that you run the Next 10, the OpenJS World Talk.
No, I'm happy to like if anybody else is there, I'd like to get them involved to help run
Yeah.
it. But I'm happy to sort of, lead the session there. I'm hoping we could get you in via
Remote.
conference call, remote, right? So if you can, I'll do whatever's needed locally, but I think the more we can get you involved as well, the better. And
Yeah, the problem is that the difference from Vancouver and Brazil, if I remember correctly, is 8 hours. So that will be difficult for me for time
I don't
reason.
think so. My guess is 3 hours.
It's 3 hours? Okay.
I think they're Pacific time.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking with Stephen, and he's I think he's in the Asia, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm in Eastern time in Canada. I'm pretty sure they're just 3 hours earlier than me.
Okay. So yes, I can join remotely. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, so I'm happy to fill in. Maybe you and I should get together and we can look at the agenda. But if you want to basically put it together, and I'll backfill as necessary, would be the good.
Okay, I will do remote. Michael Dawson in person, and Marco.
I will probably be not in person.
Okay, so I will remove you.
Yeah, I don't know the details of the remote, but I definitely hope we can do it. And for that one, in the worst case, I can like hook up my laptop and get a Zoom going with you or something like that.
Yeah, I will prepare something because let me state of Node.js security talk or article or something. Okay, so the issue 980 workflows failing due to repo config. This was opened by Ulysses.
Yeah, I have to work on the option to make the 3 workflows as a pull request. So I'm still working on that. No news since last meeting, but yeah, once I figure it out, I can share it. In the meantime, I will still doing this manual pull request, so
Okay.
that way we can have it.
So
Apache.
I will remove it from the agenda, but once
Yeah.
it's completed, you can feel free to include. Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The next one, permission model roadmap. Well,
Before you go on to the next one, I had
Yep.
I had an update related to scorecard that I would love to share as well. So hi everyone, my name is Ashish Kurmi and I'm from Step Security. And we have been participating in these meetings. So in one of the past meetings, the working group brought up a concern that the commits that were being generated by our automation were not signed. So I wanted to share that one of our teammates is actively working on it. And in the very near future, in the next 3-4 days, we'll actually deploy that feature wherein the commits will be signed as well with a PGP key. And
Okay.
I also wanted to check in if there is any other feedback or like any other concerns you may have regarding the automation provided by Step Security or anything else we can improve to make it easy for you to use the platform.
I'm not sure if I get entirely the questions, but when you say the platform is the platform to generate and improve the scorecard, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's working pretty well for me. I mean, we normally we are not using it widely because once we create issues like a small issue, good for issues, we also enable new people to come to the working group, and then they can make a small pull request and understand how things works. That's the main concern of automating everything, because of course we want to have everything well documented, updated, but we also want to not have a high barrier for newcomers,
Right.
So that's the point. But yeah, that's working pretty well for me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I can provide some feedback. It's working very well for me. I set it on the monitor reporting, so you have the fix-it link automatically. I have some people using it. Using it for other organizations, other open source projects, and actually it's working quite nice, especially if you have the typical small libraries and you maintain a bunch of them. It's really good, because you can just patch tons of them in 1-2 days. And it's easy, especially for small organizations and even for big ones. So I'm here with Rafael also, that the approach is a little bit different to just push more community contributions. But yeah, it's a really good tool, because actually sometimes it's hard to understand the analysis. I mean, you get what is going on the scorecard, but it's hard to patch sometimes. Especially if you want to pin the GitHub Actions, you need to check out the hashes and so on. It's super manual. So yeah, it's a lovely tool. I really like it.
Yeah, I have a feedback that I don't know if that's in the plans or if that already exists, but would be great to have an action that runs on every pull request and measure the scorecard before and after this pull request. So it will prevent merging, and then we will have a tracking exactly in which commit some like the score decreased, or this is like a security health check or something. But I don't know how long it takes, because it shouldn't block the CI for so long. But yeah, I think
I believe this action already exists. I'm not sure if you have looked at this scorecard action.
Well, we do have it.
Okay. Oh, so you want to see the difference if the score changes on every pull request?
Yes, I just want to make sure that I will not merge pull requests that decrease the scorecard by, I don't know, a high percentile.
Okay, let me take this as an action item and get back to you if this scenario could be supported by the existing scorecard action or not.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Moving forward, issue 898, permission model roadmap. Basically, the permission model will be released on Node.js 20, hopefully on 18 this month. We will not land it on Node.js 19 just to reduce the security work if we receive a patch or something, because once we are now accepting security reports on experimental features, we will reduce this scope and make sure that we work in a single place. So I don't have any update on that. I'm doing a lot of fixes on permission model, but that's not in the roadmap, is not a new feature. But one thing that I will probably look in the next month probably is the integration of the policies, the existing policy system, to use the configuration through a file and merge both and eventually migrate all of them to stable together, make it a feature between both namespaces. I don't know if Bradley has something to share, but I think it was your suggestion too, right? Okay, I think Bradley is not here. I have some troubles with the microphone. Okay, moving forward, improve the security working group scorecard. Well, we did a lot of things. There's just fuzzing and code review. The code review, I think we can do it very, very easily. But honestly, the security working group scorecard is now very good. Is if I remember correctly, 8.1. However, I don't know exactly which is a good number, like which is like if it's good or not. Do we have that metric or something?
I can try to get the metric and see.
No, I mean, if 8 is good, I just don't know if 8 is good.
I assume 10 is perfection, but as the closer to that is, but I assume 8 sounds okay. I mean, yeah, I was thinking 5 is kind of in the limbo, but maybe 8 sounds reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, we graduate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it comes down to, like, can we drill into the report itself? You had the link there earlier, I think, right?
The report, you can go now to the main report because I have merged the request.
Do you have the link to that handy?
Set in the chat.
Oh, there, okay. So report, yeah, okay.
Yeah, 8.1.
So yeah, because then that's got the link to the full report, right? So if we looked at security working group.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay.
And
yes.
full report, it's kind of like, well, what is it that's like code review is 9 out of 10.
Why is it 7 here? And for us it's 8.1.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing. We face it. There are some discussions on the monitor repo separated from this, where people find some issue with the deps dev because it's a separated project. Actually, it's consuming the same API, but it's doing more things. So sometimes you get different results because maybe previously it was 7, but was not properly updated and so on. Also, it's getting some issues when you do migrations of organizations for projects and things like that. So it's a little bit tricky. And there is a separate initiative by one of the contributors of one of the maintainers of the of the monitor reporting tool that we use, that is to visualize directly the data from the API, so you get a better result that are more accurate. So,
Okay.
but yeah, until that is not open, it's not ready. But the overall idea is to replace that link, or to offer the option to use that other visualizing tool, so you can choose between DevStep or that other UI over the API purely. So you have no mismatching, because sometimes can be concerning. You know, people see it and it's different scoring, especially if it's lower. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky.
And that's old, actually. It's November 21.
Yeah, that's it, because they run this on crons and things like that. So sometimes you get updates, sometimes not. So yeah, the DevStep have some tricks on that. So yeah.
Let's not consider this for now. I think it's
yeah, the full report is tricky. It's good when you do the first patching, for example, but if you don't get freshest result, it's tricky. So we probably will replace the full report link to something more accurate, just consuming the API.
Okay. Yeah, for now we only have the numbers, but no information. I mean, I think we can get it from the step security one, but it's also not updated like the one that we are doing manually, right? Probably if we go to the step security scorecard review, it will be delayed, the same as the dapps.dev, right? Or is the same?
So if we use the dashboard, I think you are not using the dashboard. If you use a dashboard, we can enable daily refresh, in which case it will just refresh the dashboard every day. But if you go to the website where we actually fix security issues, we don't show the score there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the dashboard is a good way to visualize it. Yeah. I think, not sure if all of us will have access, or yes, potentially. I think it's kind of a private beta, right?
Okay. Moving forward, automate security release process. Okay.
Sorry, just before you move forward, like I think we were at, the question was like, is the score good? If we open up that report, there's a few like branch protection.
Yeah, but that's old. If you look,
that's
to the
old.
top.
Oh, this is all old. Okay, so
yeah, that's when we were 7. Now that we are 8, is one of the reasons, because we patched we made the branch protection.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So like now I get it. We'll come back to this once we have an updated view. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good dashboard, but it's not just updated.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next item is the automation of security release process and / automation of the whole release process. This is on my radar. I did a pull request, but no further updates. Okay. Once I have it, I will include again to the agenda. Actually, it should be in the agenda because it's one of our initiatives for this quarter. So I won't remove it. Assessment against best practice. Well, this is basically what we are doing in all the issues that we just discussed, right? Like.
Yeah. I think, with the feedback from the previous issues, I think we solved some of the stuff in the list, like the filter not relevant items and so on, as we will do the grouping. And so I think maybe we can remove it from the agenda, unless we decided to onboard more projects later on to monitor.
Well, I think it should be, because it's also another initiative from this quarter, but we don't need necessarily to talk in that issue. It's just an issue that we create several other issues.
I see.
Ulysses, okay. You also, was it you who opened a PR against the the meeting template there'll now be an item which is like review the updates. So maybe that's the thing that can be used to drive that review, like how are we making progress on the best practices side of things.
The one that he opened is basically the scorecard review. That is basically the manual action that he does.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then we have the discussion about policy integrity integration on Windows. I think Bradley is also here to discuss about that because I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Is it
I do.
working? Okay. So I still have to make a PR. I'm doing that as we speak to have a flag to force policy must be specified. After that, we need to go back to the single executable working group and ensure that we can bundle with that flag unable to be turned off, basically. So you'll have a CLI flag that cannot be turned off when you have a single executable, but it'll still be able to act just like Node regularly would, except for that. And that would mean that when Microsoft gets that, they can start making their sidecar files, these certificate files, and we could add a second flag that automatically checks for a location next to an entry in the file system that sees the signed result and uses that for integrity checks as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did you talk with the single executable team before this flag, like just to make sure that it will work there?
Yes, they put it in the security working group. It's under an issue, actually, just syncing. I haven't done the work for that. I'm going to do the 2 CLI flags that are required first. And then they need it to be able to be bundled in a way that they could distribute a node executable with that flag forever turned on, unable to be turned off at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little behind. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything. I don't honestly. I don't have much context on this to help. I don't know if anybody else have. But yeah, I will keep it that in the agenda. Okay.
The only thing that may be relevant here is they want to ship a version of Node where essentially they have a few opt-in security features always turned on. So that
Yeah,
might relate to the permissions model and other things.
yeah, I think that's also related to the email we received, right, Michael? When you say Microsoft, are you saying the VS Code, Bradley?
No.
No? Okay.
VS Code is part of it, but Microsoft as a whole, not just VS Code, wants this.
No, okay. I'm just asking because we received an email like different. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, so this something, you know, if it seems to me like this is something that adding in the flags that Bradley mentions, like if you don't use them, it's not going to get in the way. So if there's a feature, if it can not have too much impact to the project and support that feature, it seems good to me anyway.
Yeah, I think what they are targeting is basically a custom build of Node.js that experimental permission and experimental policies enabled by default. So like all the security guarantees is enabled by default, even being experimental or not.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure that that's something where, you know, that would be a much larger discussion if they want the project to ship something like that.
No, they were going to reuse the single executable effort. So they would
Right, that makes sense.
They would just have a custom small wrapper that actually does not have a custom executable. It just customizes the flags.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
actually, yeah, no, that's a nice approach. And it's a nice thing that would be enabled by the single executable application effort as well. So yeah, that's good.
Great. Next one in the agenda is the issue 828, automate update of all dependencies. Marco?
Yes, so I will post in chat the comment where there's the recap with all the on what's going on. So wait, I posted it on chat, so maybe it's
In the
quick,
chat
because
of,
there are a
okay.
lot of comments. So it's going quite well. We're almost done. It's great also see that when a new dependency is added to Node.js, like there is a pull request, they automatically add new automation, which is great. So like the public understood that something important. Also, there is the contribution of Ranieri here that joined us today. So it's also his first pull request to Node. So that's great. He's working
Very good,
on
very good.
Wazi. So there are like 3 dependencies left. One is the most important one, which is V8, and I think we should talk about it later because the whole process is a bit complex, and I don't know if we want to go for it because there is a lot of it's a complex process and probably it requires some discussion about it. But for the time being, there is just histogram that's left, and I opened a pull request to that repository, and if you can review it or add some feedback, because that would be great. And also, one thing I want to do is create a folder to include the maintaining file markdown for every dependency that we have. So we have everything wrapped all together instead of having to search into all this file. And that's it. It's going well. So probably in a few weeks, we will be almost done.
Well, once you finish, I don't think, like, for instance, the V8 might take quite some time to do, and there are other ones. So in this maintaining.md or maintaining markdown file, would be great to have an overview of the status of each update. For instance, for now, all the addressed dependencies will be working for until which release. For instance, let's say that OpenSSL is automated. Here is flagged as checked, but we all know that it doesn't work for Node.js 14 and 16 because it's a different version. And basically, this document explaining, okay, this automation will work only for main, Node.js 18, Node.js 19, and 20, but 16 and 14 needs a manual update. And the same applies for all those. I mean, for most of them, I don't think that it will be different, but just a document saying that, okay, this automation will work for all the active release lines and so on. But and that means that, okay, even if you don't find a good way to automate V8, it doesn't mean that this issue shouldn't be closed. It can be closed, but
yes,
once you update the maintaining.md file, explicitly saying that V8 for now needs to be updated manually.
yes, absolutely. On this point, I can say that there is still some work to do on the documentation side. So I will do that. Like once we're done, I will try to wrap up documentation, create a nice folder structure. And lastly, one other thing that we could automate, but we are not sure is the when we have a GYP file. So if the folder structure change and there are like some changes, at the moment we are not automating it. We have to do it manually. Tobias
cleanup.
tried to do it, and it's still like it's the first attempt. So in the future we will see if his approach works and we can replicate it to other dependencies that need it. So that's another good thing.
The .gip you mean is a configuration file for the automation, or to remove files that is not used after this release?
Yeah, I mean, if there is a GYP file, when you update the dependencies and the folder structure of the dependency changes, the file changes, you have to also update the GYP, which is not done now, but it can be done. And as I said, Tobias tried to do it, but we will see how it goes, because if there is too many changes and it breaks every time, there is no reason to do it. We can leave it manually. But if we see that something that, okay, it's usually stable and it works, we can bring it to every other dependency update, and that's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Very good, very impressive work.
Yeah, no, I think great progress, and it's great to see how much of it's automated now. So it's
yeah, it's just a few of them missing. And
and
good.
GTCP is done, and other few are work in progress, means the PR is open, it just needs to be merged.
Yeah.
I think, like, in the session at the Collaborator Summit, if enough of it's automated, the next thing that's related to also think about and talk about is the dependencies that are used. Like, because some of these, it takes extra tools to build them, and how good a process do we have for knowing what those tools are? Do we have copies of them stored? Basically the next step is, like, now that we've automated it, how it's sort of the reproducible of the things it depends on, right? That is sort of the next thing we could start to think about, is like, okay, yeah, maybe we're pulling these things from different places. Are we sure that all those things are like a safe place that'll always be available, or you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, at the moment there is a mixed approach. Like, some stuff we pull it from the Google source, some stuff from GitHub. Like, it's a mix, and we probably should standardize the whole process.
Yeah, I think some of them are probably very, very repeatable. It comes down to, like, hey, do we just say, like, well, GitHub is trusted, and, like, if GitHub doesn't exist anymore, we're out of luck anyway, right? So we trust that one. Other ones might be pulling from somewhere that's like, a project that may or may not be around tomorrow, right? So maybe that one we should have a copy of. But going through each one and sort of figuring that out is kind of what I had.
Something like Verdaccio for NPM packages.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Like, I think, but going through and understanding for each of them, it's like, how confident are we that, like, we can continue to build these, based on what tools they need and where they're pulled from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see this much progress in terms of them being automated.
Yeah. Just one thing that I mean, even having everything, like most of the things automated, I'm not receiving many pull requests. I think it's because the GitHub bot opened the request but does not tag us unless we are in the UV team or underg team, right?
Yeah, we should probably tag security work group, because I
think it's good.
I went through all the pull requests to check if, like, there was some error, some problems, and every time I see a pull request opened by the bot is merged, I'm like confident that the whole process was fine.
Yeah, I mean, just for, I don't know, until we finish all the lists, I think would be great to ping us, and then we remove, because that doesn't make sense. But just to make sure that the bot is doing the right thing and we are not facing any particular problem. I mean, of course, if something if we receive a problem, we will probably receive a bunch of issues on the Node.js main repo, but it's good to know or to see the progress. Anyway, very good work, everybody. So I will leave it as a comment here for create maintaining overview.md with the things we discussed. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Update from very good, very good. Awesome. Next item on our agenda, there's the recursive support, but it's just because I forgot to remove it from the agenda. As I said previously, I don't have bandwidth to work on this, but if someone wants to work on this, that will be more than welcome. Basically, what we need here is this repository, Node.js dependency assessment, is a checker that run every week or every day. I don't remember. But basically goes to all of our dependencies and search for now CVEs, public CVs on all of the dependencies. And if there is one public CV that was not addressed in Node.js, it will open an issue and we review it eventually. And what we need here is basically go recursively, because now it's checking, okay, npm does have a public CV, and then it opens up a pull request. But sometimes the dependence of npm opens a CV and we are not aware, as we received some issues a while ago. And that's one thing that it's nice to have, even though we won't be able to fix it.
So we do recursive CVE checks at work. I don't know. Do you just need it patched in, or can we just like upstream our existing stuff?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm fine with both approaches, honestly. But the recursive CV goes to the dependence regardless of JavaScript or not.
We get it. We only turn on currently. We get more than that, but we get Python and JavaScript. We could turn on more selectively if we knew what all the dependencies are. Do it.
Yeah, basically the dependence checker is well described in this document. I will send the chat. I mean, if this new feature works, I think we are good.
Easy. If not, then we'll do.
Yeah, if there's something you have that you're happy to PR in or turn on for us here, that I think we're
I'll
just
take a
for how
look.
we get the info, right? So
yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Well, and that's the end of our agenda. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Hanier, for your first Node.js pull request. Welcome. I hope to see you again in the next meetings. Thank you everybody for joining, and see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
see everybody later.